Well, I cannot stop playing Knockout City. I can't do it. Hasn't been something like Dota 2 or League of Legends since something sunk its claws so deeply into my competitive brain that the only thing I want to do is play Knockout City. Even when I'm done playing Knockout City, I want to boot up Knockout City and play more Knockout City. The concept is super simple. 3v3 dodgeball with a little bit of spice. Throwing some power-ups, some maps that rotate through, and a few deeper mechanics other than just throwing and catching the ball, and baby, you have a stew going. There's a lot to love here about Knockout City, so for the next few minutes, my job is to convince you that you need to go play this game. If you already got the game, then stick around, baby, for that sweet, sweet buyer's affirmation that we all crave when we spend our hard-earned dollars. I tried to say, try again. Hard. On its surface, Knockout City is extremely straightforward. It's a 3v3 dodgeball game where each match is a best of 3. 10 KOs wins a round, and whoever takes 2 rounds wins the match. Plenty of games have taken that exact same idea and done something with it, and any game done like that with any competency can be a fun time, but gets real old real quick without some sort of variety. But Velen Studios has taken that simple idea and added just enough depth to make it competitive while leaving that simple premise the driving mechanic so near anyone can jump in and have a good time. The first really simple but genius addition is how many different kinds of throws this game has. You've got what you expect, right? You've got your standard somewhat slow toss after you just tap the throw button and your charged up speedy one if you dedicate a little time to that charge. Of course, you'll be moving a little slower while you do charge and you'll be vulnerable. Now to add a little spice, we have a couple of special throws that you can also throw charged or slow. The first is the lob that's just best used when trying to doink someone on the head over the side of a wall. And my personal favorite, the curveball. This puppy is just my favorite. One, because it just looks so freaking cool. There's just something about twirling in the air and doing this badass throw that turns a bullet like freaking wanted. And 2, because this thing can nail people who think they're far away and safe and out of sight. Like they don't think that I can actually hit them. I don't freaking think so, nerd. Of course, should you find yourself a target of one of these particular attacks, you're not defenseless. You can, of course, attempt to catch the ball with a simple click of a button press. Doing so will give you the ball fully charged if you catch it, and if you perfect catch it, supercharged. The attacker could also attempt to bait out a catch with a fake throw. Another simple but great addition. If you catch the ball the moment before it hits you though, you'll pull off, as I said, a perfect catch, giving it a supercharge. Having it supercharged will allow you to throw it back to them like a bullet, but if they catch it, it becomes a tier 2 supercharged move, then moving even faster. And this back and forth can go up to tier 6. But I'll be honest, I'm not sure I've actually ever gone back and forth more than up to maybe 4 times before one of us got hit by it. The other addition and other defensive ability the game gives you is a dodge/tackle. With the hit of a button, you can move in any direction that'll break lock on, or if a ball is about to hit you, bounce the ball away harmlessly and granting you very temporary immunity. If you collide with the player during that dodge, you'll knock them back and knock any ball loose that they might have been holding, allowing you to attempt to try and grab it for yourself. But just like the catch, there's a brief window afterward that leaves you open to being punished. If you decide to get greedy and end up whiffing your tackle attempt, then you're gonna get bopped for it, almost certainly. It is so satisfying to both punish said attempts when you can see it coming, and pull off something super risky like making that tackle attempt and actually nailing the player, taking the ball from them and knocking them out before they can get you. So the general back and forth has a little bit of depth. But the thing that sets this game aside from other games that may fall into this particular ilk is the built-in reward for teamwork. All simply built into one action, passing. Passing to a teammate will automatically give them a charged ball to toss, negating the need to spend a couple of seconds charging it up and leaving you vulnerable. If they already have a ball in hand and you pass it, the ball will bounce back to you fully charged. It sounds like such a small, simple kind of duh thing to add, but this simple addition encourages team play in a game like this where tons of other games lack it. And in those games, teams end up fracturing off, doing their own thing, being picked off by more coordinated teams. But even in my solo queue adventures of KO City, 9 times out of 10, the randoms are passing and playing like a team because it benefits them as much as it benefits the person being passed to. The fact that solo queue doesn't make me want to swing from the chandelier into eternal nothingness while cursing the name of the pugs I played with is worthy of note of recognition in my book. And lest I forget the final thing you can do. Should you and your teams find yourself bereft of dodgeballs while the enemy team has all of them, you can, by hitting Alt, ball up yourself. The player can pick you up and throw you, and should you hit a player, no matter if they have 1 or 2 hits left on them, it will automatically KO. And if a teammate takes you balled up and fully charges you, you become a bomb. If you hit any of them with the explosion that follows, you will automatically knock out anyone on the enemy team. And the other additions to this game are just about as good, at least on the surface level. Let's be real, Knockout City is by no means supposed to be a hardcore esport. And it realizes that while yes, it may have a ranked mode and definitely encourages a competitive spirit, it is additionally a fun party game to play with family and friends. In that, both its maps and its special ball power-ups look to inject a little bit of RNG into the gameplay to varying success. At the time of launch, the game has 5 maps to its name. Arguably though, only 2 of them are any good, while the other 3 hit varying levels of mediocre to downright dog shit. I'm looking at you, goddamn knockout roundabout. A circular map where around the center is a road and an uncountable number of frickin' cars just drive around and the cars themselves simply act like bumper cars, bumping into you and knocking you whatever direction that they're driving. They won't make you drop the ball, don't worry, but they will potentially knock you into other oncoming cars, sending you into a few second chain event where you're simply watching as your character helplessly getting bonked around while the enemy either uses the opportunity to easily pick you off while you are just at the whims of the map without so much as anything you can do, or being pushed so far away from your team, you simply get to watch them get overwhelmed and pick off. And by the time you free yourself from car hell, the other team is already halfway across the map, each one with a ball aimed directly at your nutsack. I just want to play your goddamn game, devs, and I can't even take the map out of my preferred rotation. It's a mandatory map should it show up. There's nothing less fun in a game than obstacles whose whole freaking purpose is to try and prevent you from actually playing the game. And sure, you can turn into a ball and roll under the cars, but you can't carry a ball while you're a ball. And if any enemy player picks you up while you're in ball form, they can throw you against your teammate. Sure, you can mash spacebar to try to get out, but they have a good 3 or 4 seconds before you're busting out of that thing no matter how hard you use your jerk-off hand to smash that spacebar, I promise you. It feels like it's one of those blue shell moments in Mario Kart where I really don't have a choice but to just let the map decide who's winning, which kind of makes sense since Velen Studios' only other game is the live-action Mario Kart circuit toy that came out last year. I'm just saying, please, devs, please. This map is so fucking bad. Change it, change it, change it. And the other 2 maps I talked about, I dislike for similar reasons, though to a whole lot less of a degree. The train station is just infuriatingly laid out and bizarrely confusing. Meanwhile, unlike the cars, the train will just outright fucking murder you if you touch it, and certain jump pads lead directly onto the train track, which wouldn't be a big deal if you could look up before you ended up jumping. But because the camera is bizarrely locked from looking straight up, my guess is that this was a console decision design because there's crossplay between everything. You'll end up getting railed by the train a few times before you learn to just avoid parts of the map altogether because it isn't worth the effort. That's really fun, isn't it? When a bunch of players just avoid parts of your map because it's just fucking annoying to play on. The good maps aren't even good because of anything unique, which is painful to say. They're simply good because they're the levels the devs decided to put the least shit in and let the players actually play the game that they designed. I'm hoping in future updates we see some sort of level select or maybe some tinkering with the current levels or more levels with less crap added in because it could really use it. The power-ups are similar but skewed to mostly good instead of mostly bad. Every match has a special ball that will be randomly chosen and then can be found on the map randomly through your matches. None of them are terrible by any means, some are just more fun or even more useful than others. The biggest culprit being the sniper ball. This football thing takes ages to charge because it can hit so far away and flies faster than any ball in the game, making it near impossible for someone to dodge. But once you start getting targeted by this thing, getting an indicator and a special noise letting you know that it is the sniper ball that's targeting you specifically, You can simply move out of the way and wait it out. Unlike other special balls, you can't actually curve or lob the sniper ball. So hiding behind a wall and waiting is a legitimate and very easy strategy, taking the fun out of the ball entirely. So the other balls are great. The multi-ball gives you 3 balls. After throwing or passing one, you immediately get another into your hands. The moon ball lets you jump super high and float around, and if you hit an enemy with it, it sends them really far away. And the cage ball locks the enemy into that ball position that I spoke about earlier, where you can either pick them up and use them as a one-hit KO ball, or toss the enemy off the map in that form entirely, taking an easy knockout that way. Each one of these adds just enough variety to make each match fun and engaging, but nothing is crazy overpowered or will win a match for one team or another. That still remains on pure skill and good teamwork. There's honestly so much more to talk about. The constant progression of earning EXP every game to level up your character, unlocking new and cool looking clothes or hairstyles or even animations for the start of the game or end of it. And yes, since this is an EA funded game, boo. Even the EXP boost doesn't make you better, as earning EXP just gets you your free cosmetics a little faster. There's crews in this game as well, which is this game's versions of like a team or a guild. Playing with teammates also gains you more EXP, and the more your crews plays together, the more EXP you all earn, even if you aren't playing with them at the same time. And simply, the game is just satisfying to play. There's no other way to put it. The chunky thuds of a ball hitting an opponent, the impact animations of the characters really sell that they were just whacked really hard by a ball, and when you knock someone out, I get that same rush that I get when I play Super Smash Bros. There's something so simple to approach here, something deeper than I expected at the end, and something that's hooked my competitive spirit in a way that's both incredibly satisfying to improve and play on, but light and fun enough where the salt rarely piles too high. There's no reason not to try out Knockout City, at least to give it a shot. Initially, it was just going to be a 10-day free period, but the devs have created it to be free all the way until you hit level 25. So just grab the game. Moreover, it's one of the few games out there that is cross-play across everything. Switch, Xbox, PS5, PS4, PC, everybody can play with everyone else. So you are not locked down to just playing with friends on a particular console. And if you want to get the game at the end of the day and you're still not sure you want to spend 20 bucks, if you have the EA subscription or you have the Microsoft Gamepass, you can just download it. You already have it. And you could just grab a month of either one of those services for $5 friggin'. Just go get Knockout City. It's worth the $20 price of admission. It's worth the $5 subscription. It's worth the free trial. And it's an incredibly fun game, little warts and all. So go grab it for yourself, and I hope to see you all on the dodgeball fields. The judge has spoken. Like lightning, Dean. Have like lightning come down. Credits. Yeah.